Actually, workload is a pain because you can't.
They just want to read the body language of like when you're kind of slowly walking away and slowly putting your headset in.
With everybody, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I'm here to work out. Like, if you actually have friends, you talk with them, or you talk with them outside.
That's when your 1 hour workout becomes a 3 hour slot.
I gotta tighten up these shirts.
Is yours
Oh, it's
just
yours.
No, mine's too big.
I heard you say I gotta tighten up these chicks. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
We're rolling, man. All right, welcome back to On the Block. We're going to get into the Western Conference, and with that, we're going to start with Golden State's Kevin Durant and what he had said about a week and a half ago about people not really wanting to play with LeBron James. And we've talked about this over the years. People know about this. The LeBron fans, the LeBron haters, everybody's aware of it. Now, whether you kind of agree with it or not is two different things, but you can't really dispute that guys like Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, everybody that's been on his team ever on a championship run, that they've taken a backseat. And whatever their role was, it hasn't been the same role. Kyrie was not a point guard on that team. And then Durant also talked about the media becoming a bit of a fan fest and fanboys, and everybody's just there for the LeBron James show, which, you know, no matter what side of the fence you're on, you can't really dispute that, because in every sport, the best player, the MVP, is going to get a lot of love on whatever team, right? Ronaldo on Juventus gets a lot of it. Now, just at the point, what point does it become excessive, A? And then secondly, at what point is it, you know, like, do your teammates not want to play with you, and are you kind of hindering their development? Also, like Brandon Ingram, who we've talked about, who was never going to be a superstar, but you can tell he's kind of, he needs the ball in his hands and be a better player, and he hasn't been. Now, I don't know who wants to start.
Me.
Okay.
I might accidentally ask rhetorical questions. Do not answer me. Do not answer me. I want my unfiltered time. Now, I'm going to read a little part of what Durant said, okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of this pertains to people exactly like Igor. So, Igor, this montage is for you. Okay. So much hype comes from being around LeBron from other people, Durant said. He has so many fanboys in the media. Even the beat writers just fawn over him. I'm like, we're playing basketball here, and it's not even about basketball most of the time. So a lot of those times when people talk about, like, he gives to the poor, they talk about all these other things. We're talking about basketball.
He's Jesus.
We're not talking about anything else other than you can't get a free throw. You can't. I want to talk about basketball. Your defense. I want to talk about basketball. Yeah. Then he finishes. He goes, so I get why anyone wouldn't want to be in that environment, because it's toxic, and especially when the attention is BS. Now let me make sure I'm clear about this. They're boys. They're absolute boys, but you got to call a spade a spade. And and even when I hear people talking about Durant's comments, and I'm seeing on the media, and I'm seeing podcasts and stuff like that, they're saying he's jealous. So right away they're trying to change the narrative. Mm-hmm. Kyrie Irving did not want to play with LeBron,
and he was quiet about it.
Yeah, but then they changed the narrative to he wants his own team in the alpha dog garbage. Why don't you listen to what he's saying and watch his behavior? He wants to play point guard. Lonzo Ball and them don't get to play point guard in LA. He wants to play his position, so he left. They're still boys. When they played each other, they shook hands, everything. They're not enemies. Durant is still friends with LeBron, but he's speaking the truth. You have to call a spade a spade.
People don't like the truth, though.
Yeah, but the point is you got to talk the truth. And what he's saying here is when LeBron wins, he gets the glory, and when they lose, it's an excuse.
Teammates.
Yeah. So let me make sure we're clear about. Something. For over a decade, no, I started 30 seconds. For over a decade, LeBron has all I've seen is trade deadline and off season. Who's gonna come and help LeBron? For over a decade, I've watched that. When he went to Miami, he went with Dwayne Wade, who was the second best two guard in the league behind Kobe Bryant, mm-hmm. And he went with Chris Bosh, who was the best power forward in the league. Kevin Love and them were there. Yeah. So and Durant was going down. Nowitzki was going downhill, and Tim Duncan was going downhill the year. So Bosh was the best power forward. Right now, in free agency, before even Kevin Durant made this comment, who is the top guys they're talking about? If I were to go to 1 million people, if I were to go to
Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah. Okay, no, my bad. Thank you. If I were to go to 1 million people and ask them who's the best 5 players in the NBA, you know what they'd say? They would say Kevin Durant, they would say LeBron James, they would say Anthony Davis, they would say Kawhi Leonard, and then there would be a whole bunch of speculation for the fifth. Giannis. Every single one of those players are supposed to go down. Every single one of those players. The top one right now is Anthony Davis. Before this comment, Kevin Durant was a high favorite, and they're still trying to get Kawhi Leonard. Again, they want to go and get the best power forward in the league and one of the best guards in the league. Well, Kawhi Leonard, best two-way, and if they get they're even talking about Klay Thompson.
Butler's been another guy.
He's not going there anymore, but Klay Thompson they've been talking about. Again, he's supposed to go get help. I'm tired of, and let me tell you the big problem with this. This is the closer, right? This is the big problem with this. LeBron James has been to the finals 8 times. 8 times. Now, the beat writers who fought over him don't understand something that us, I don't know what haters, that's what we're called, right? The non-witnesses. So there's winners and the haters.
8 times in a row.
There's no truth tellers.
In a row, right?
No, how many times did he go in total?
Is it 8 times in a row, or is it 8 times?
No, he's been to the finals 8 times. He went to the finals 8 times.
Well, no, he won. They lost. They got swept against San Antonio once, so it must have been 7 times.
No,
right?
he's been to the finals 8
8
times.
times.
Okay,
7, yeah.
he went to the finals 8 times. Now, I'm not going to do the whole Michael Jordan 6 for 6. Forget all that. You win some, you lose some, right? So he won 3 times. He won 3 times. He lost 8 times. He lost 8 times, ladies and gentlemen, right? So, no, he went 8 times. He lost 5 times. Sorry. You win some, you lose some. 3 and you lose 5. That's fair. Now, let me make sure we're clear about this. 2 of those times were sweeps. 2 of those times were 4-1 losses. That means you've been destroyed 4 times and you've won 3. You have 1 respectable loss in your whole NBA final career, and you've been destroyed more times than you've won. And I'm hearing greatness. I'm hearing witnessing. Why are we, this is the stuff that Durant is getting angry about. And then when he goes and says, you know what, he's going to get praised? He runs to Golden State and stocks a team.
He does the same thing LeBron did and say, why are you mad at me for it? Be mad at him.
No, but it's pathetic. But here, I can promise you one thing. He's going to have more total points at the end of his career than LeBron. I promise you he'll have more NBA championships than LeBron. And there'll be excuses why he get it. They'll bring up Golden State, which is a fair excuse. They'll bring up everything, not to say he's better than LeBron. But I promise you, he will be, because he doesn't get hurt and he's a vicious scorer, he will even probably beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and be number 1. Durant when he's done his career, because he never gets hurt. He is going to have more championships than LeBron. LeBron ain't winning nothing. And even if God abandons me and allows Anthony Davis to go to LA and he wins a couple of more rings, they're going to say it's because of LeBron James. Even if Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard go there, they're going to say LeBron's a king. Even though for the second time he's going to go get help. I'm done.
All right. Is it my turn? Okay.
All right.
So, first and foremost, let me just say one on Durant's comments. First and foremost, based off of his tweet years ago, which is I think back when that whole Miami super team started off with when LeBron went to Miami. What was his tweet again?
I would never do a super team or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's a hypocrite?
So he's a hypocrite for that.
Absolutely.
That's
nothing to do with the comments.
That's number 1. So 2, you mentioned, so let's say you mentioned all these guys. You mentioned Kevin Love. You mentioned Chris Bosh.
I didn't.
Dwayne Wade.
Well, you mentioned Bosh as the power forward, and you mentioned Kevin Love and Kyrie.
Yeah, the first time.
So, again, and I'll go I'll do this whole rhetorical thing that you were doing. Kevin Love, how much did he win in in Minnesota when he was the top dog? Nothing.
He did.
Nothing. Chris Bosh was the top dog in Toronto. How much did he win?
First round exits.
Thank you. Kyrie Irving, when Cleveland was his team, how much did he win? Nothing.
They didn't make the playoffs.
They were last place almost every year. So that goes to show you those 3 guys
He was like 22. But
needed LeBron more than LeBron needed them in reality, because all those 3 of those guys on their own have had little to no success. And again, that's the truth. Kyrie was there. Again, that's the truth. The whole comments about LeBron makes
a circus.
a circus and so forth.
True.
Do you think, and he brought up Michael, so I'm going to bring up Michael. Do you think that Scottie Pippen liked playing second fiddle to Michael his entire career? Do you legitimately think that? He had to. Do you think that if Scottie were to be truthful about it, do you think Scottie Pippen, who was a good player, maybe top 50,
he was a great player.
Great player. Do you believe that when Michael left and Scottie had the
All-star
team and so forth, he finally got some credit, because everybody for the most part was thinking that Scottie was riding on Michael's coattails. And that's just reality of things. So then Scottie got his own team. He had some success. Success that the other guys that I'll mention, Bosh, unfortunately with his health, Kevin Love, again, injured again, Cleveland's terrible. Kyrie goes to another stacked team. Well, playing with a guy like LeBron James, you will never be the second, you will never be the alpha. Kevin Durant likes being the alpha.
Does he?
I think he does, because if you look at it, if he goes to the Lakers, Will the talk be all about Kevin Durant, or will it all be about LeBron James? It is about LeBron James, based on the fact that LeBron James has had, since, again, you go back, what has it been, 15, was it almost 15?
03,
20,
15 years.
15 years
16.
since they had his high school games on ESPN. Unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. The story's always going to be about him. It doesn't matter about his philanthropy and which is great, by the way. It's always going to be about him because he was always seen as the next one. Simple as that. Obviously, a lot of these guys don't like playing with him because a lot of the guys, just like I mentioned with him, they have egos. They want to be the alphas on their particular. For example, he used Kyrie. I haven't seen Kyrie put pen to paper yet on his new deal with Boston. There's still a lot of rumors that he might want to go to the Knicks. And why does he want to go to the Knicks? Because that would be his team. Mm-hmm. He's mentioned to the Boston crowd, "Oh, hey guys, I'll be back." I'll use the hockey thing. John Tavares has said that to the New York Islanders crowd the entire time. What are you going to say? So I will be taking a look at what happens in this offseason to see if Kyrie's all about winning or Kyrie's all about himself. Because if he's all about himself, he'll jump to the Knicks or to a big market where the team is around.
But is that a bad thing?
But then how can you say that these guys don't like playing with LeBron when in reality they're all about looking out for number one? And it doesn't matter who it is at the end of the day.
But I'm not mad at a guy that's trying to build his own team from scratch.
Or trying to be the man. And that's the thing. When they're around LeBron, they're not the man. Anthony Davis will likely go to the Lakers based on the fact that his management team is LeBron's team, and you can see that that's probably going to be paving the way at some point. It'll likely happen. But saying that again, you're under the LeBron microscope. You're never going to be out of that. Of course, the majority of them don't. I don't think it has anything to do that he makes some worse players on the court.
Well, he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, so I get why anyone wouldn't want to be in that environment because it's toxic and most of it is BS. Let me explain something. You changed the narrative. We're talking about his comments and LeBron, and you're talking to me about Kyrie Irving.
Why is it toxic? Why is it toxic?
I'm explaining.
I like winning. I like winning over losing any day of the week. Go ahead.
Thank you. So you're changing the narrative and you're talking about that. First of all, you brought up about LeBron. What did they do before LeBron got there? LeBron squeaked to the finals once, got destroyed, and then after that, he even lost to Orlando. Who was the best player on that team? Dwight Howard, who's never averaged 20 points in his career. Turkoglu, you're talking. No, hold on. No.
Here we go again.
Okay, I'm answering
we go again with the whole situation. We go back to the whole Michael narrative of 6 for 6. Michael,
I'm answering your question. You're not going to get 15 minutes. I go silent during your talk. You're not going to go on a rant. You're going to answer my question.
That Cleveland team again.
Was trash.
Was trash.
But every team he has is trash. But every team he has is trash.
Not every team's out
except Miami.
The Miami teams have been good.
That's not the point. The point was that you said that the other players were nothing before. So they were on trash teams just like LeBron was. LeBron wasn't successful. Sure. He went to 1 finals. So why are you making it look like he was successful and then they had to come to him to be successful? He was trash. They were trash, and they got together.
Hold on.
So why are you saying anything like that?
How can you say that he was trash if he got that team to the finals?
He
did more than Kyrie, Love, and Bosh.
Hold on. I got to interject.
Bosh got in the same year.
I got to interject.
Bosh got in the same year. Him and Bosh got in the same year. Kyrie's teams were 15-win teams for years until LeBron got in.
Okay, but Kyrie was 21 and 20 years old. That's very different, man. Like, what guys that are 20 years old are good?
Did Wade win before LeBron? Well, you're going to come up with an excuse, right?
No.
Did Wade win before LeBron?
Wade did win.
Okay,
because he had the diesel.
Okay, so what?
He had the diesel.
Okay,
Diesel games in it and he wins the title. What a surprise.
And Cleveland went to the finals because they had a better team than the Raptors.
Who's that?
And Cleveland went to the finals because they had a better team than the Raptors.
Is
that good enough for you?
No, the Raptors. They went to the finals because they had the best player on the planet, and he dragged them down there.
So the Diesel won. So the Diesel won Finals MVP when they won the championship. The Diesel you're talking about, did they win?
Miami win. Shaq and Wade.
Who won Finals MVP?
Dwayne Wade.
Okay, so again, change the narrative. Next part, you said that.
Andre Iguodala's won Finals
MVP. I'm just correcting the false. I'm correcting the false information.
That doesn't make any. Who cares?
Who cares?
That's a small.
So
Diesel, did Wade win anything? So
like the fanboy stuff, it only matters if it's helping LeBron. You said that LeBron, you're saying stuff that is not true, and I'm correcting you. You said that LeBron had a good career, that they needed to come to him to win. But that's a lie. You said that he's successful because he went to the finals. Wade went to the finals and won. You're saying it's because he had Diesel.
With a star player.
Okay, but the point is...
LeBron with freaking Junas Laglaski and some scrubs.
Okay, and who are the Raptors playing with?
next year he went to Cleveland, didn't he? After a few years after Miami,
No,
he went.
again,
or was it
he
Boston
left. He
first?
left when LeBron. Only team that LeBron lost to afterwards were the Celtics when they had those stacked with Garnett, Pierce, and so forth in the playoffs afterwards. Then he
See,
went to
and
Miami.
lost
the
to
words,
Detroit.
the
Not
words,
only did he beat Detroit,
the,
he beat
every
Detroit.
word that he says against everybody else is praising words, stacks, everything against the people that LeBron's playing with is garbage. Who wants to play with that? Then he goes, and then he's telling me that the Raptors had better talent than Cleveland. The Bosch was
Yeah, it's
unsuccessful.
clear.
What,
It's clear.
who played with Bosch?
There
Who
was
played
that.
with Bosch?
What was that?
Who played with Bosch when they were losing?
What was that? Morris Peterson. Who else? Did they
Okay,
have?
so that's talent. You see what I'm saying? Morris Peterson. That's the first
So-
thing
so
that comes out of
here's
his
the
mouth. Just like Steve Kerr was an all-star with Jordan. The next point I just want to correct because I can't stand
I didn't say
I can't
Steve Kerr
stand
was an all-star
lies. He
with
said
Jordan.
that Pippen didn't want to play with Jordan, and that when Jordan left, he finally got recognition.
Sure.
Yet, if you want me to pull up a video, when Jordan retired, he's the one wearing the Jordan 10s, begging Jordan to come out of retirement. Does that sound like someone who doesn't want to be in a shadow?
No, but it's saying. Do you believe that if Michael hadn't retired over the years, that Scotty would have
That's not the
gotten
point.
his
The
due? There's no
point.
way.
That's not the point. That's not what you said.
I remember.
That's not what you said.
We go
you
back.
said that that Pippen didn't want to be under the shadow of Jordan. So when Jordan left for 1 year and he was Finals MVP and took his team to the NBA playoffs and won 40 wins, why is he asking Michael Jordan to come back if he didn't want to be under a shadow?
So how many playoff wins were from Michael Jordan without Scotty and the rest of the Bulls?
The
squad?
one season in the one season.
They played one season.
Michael,
he played one season without
Michael without Scotty and the rest of them was getting beat on the first round to Detroit almost every single year for years on end.
He's talking about his first 3 years in the league.
When he broke his foot?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. That is exactly what he's
Michael
talking about.
had a garbage team, didn't have Scotty, didn't have anybody, and when he faced against stacked teams like we've been seeing with the Golden State Warriors, Michael failed.
But Michael was 19 and 20 years old. This is what I'm telling you about. Hold on. I need to step in now.
How
I need to step in. Hold on.
How old was LeBron when he went to the finals?
I don't
He
know.
wasn't
Second or
19.
third year?
He wasn't 19.
20.
He was not
Remember,
19.
Michael State went until almost a senior year of college. Put that into
That's a
perspective.
lie too.
He did
That's a
3.
lie.
How many
he
years?
did
Yeah,
not.
no, he didn't
No,
graduate.
he did not.
That I know. He didn't
But he
graduate.
was at least until the third year,
No, he
correct?
didn't. He played his
I
second
know.
year. He
High
played his
school.
rookie year with James Worthy and them, and then the second year when he hit the shot and he left. More
But I
wrong
just- I just
information.
don't-
So that
More
LeBron
wrong
was in high school.
information.
That's 2 extra years.
But hold on, we can't just look at every team and say because if you put so who's the next best? Name your top 5 in the NBA, top 5 players.
Again, I will say that Durant is number 2.
Okay, Durant,
I would probably take
Curry, right? Or
no. I mean altogether, and
Greek Freak.
Greek probably. Then Kawhi would probably be my top
Okay,
top
so-
4 or 5.
Okay, so
Then
Greek,
Anthony Davis probably would be
Greek
the other one.
Freak is a top 5 player in the NBA, of course. Also Kawhi Leonard probably, right?
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard, you want to talk about guys that he always had people. He had Ginobili, he had Parker, and he had Tim Duncan, right?
Okay.
And he was, 19 years old when he came in the league. He started it
Finals
off
MVP,
okay, and he ended up winning
yeah.
Finals MVP, right? So you can't look at every situation and be like, he was trash because he had nobody. Because most players, when they come in the league, you're drafted in top 3 because your team's terrible.
Yeah,
So
sure.
Kyrie Irving, I don't know, great players. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade when he came in with Miami.
Sure.
Dwayne Wade actually had a decent first year. They went to the playoffs, if I can remember,
they
right?
very well.
But that is so rare. Donovan Mitchell, you get into a situation where it's like you have a great team, not players, but a great team. You step in and you flourish. But how many guys, if you pull up the last 10 drafts of the top 5 players, have been successful in their first or second year and won a playoff series?
Sure,
To
because-
get to your point, because what you said about LeBron is all these guys needed LeBron, which I am so disagreeing on because look at any rookie that's come in the league, whether even like Ingram. Hold on, top five draft guys. How many guys in the top 5 drafts? I wish we could pull it up. Come in and in their first 2 years are taking teams to the playoffs and like winning a series.
So-
It doesn't happen.
So let me get okay. So let's say that LeBron stays in Miami.
No, to answer the question.
No, that's
top five players.
Well, that again, but go back to your point that you disagree with one of my point. Do you think that if Kevin Love was still in Minnesota, that they would have won anything by now?
No.
But they would have been in the playoffs. That's it. They would have won a
What have you
championship
done?
for sure. No,
Okay,
no.
so there you go. So why is Kevin a champion?
Super team,
That's
right?
Kevin's a
Well,
champion
one of many. Yeah.
because
Can I ask you a question?
he
too?
was traded to Cleveland and he's there with LeBron James.
How many-
He would not have a ring.
Why is Kevin Durant a champion?
Kevin Durant the champion because he went to the well, there you go.
I have a question.
So that he should be the last person to say not you, I'm talking about Durant.
Yeah.
He should be the last person
Agreed.
to really go off like
Agreed.
anybody.
But
Because
he's mad
he-
because he did the same thing LeBron
Yeah.
did, but LeBron's being he's being
Yes,
persecuted, but
I
LeBron's
agree.
not, right?
He's He's being persecuted
That's your
because he
question.
made
That's your
a
question.
snake maneuver and went to a team that he lost.
This is the stuff.
Snake moves.
This is a perfect segment. This should get 1 million views if you put this on YouTube. This is the perfect example of what Durant's talking about. He goes, how much would Kevin Durant have won? We could say nothing. How much would Chris Ross have won if he stayed in Toronto? I could say nothing. How much would LeBron have won if he didn't run and get help?
Nothing.
He's gonna make it sound like it was 100, even though he made it to the finals once and got smoked. But okay,
By a much
so
better
that's a winning.
San Antonio
So that's a
team.
winning.
By a much
Did
better
he
San
lose?
Antonio.
But the Warriors,
You don't know what
But
Kevin
the
and Love they could have made it to a finals and lost too.
Minnesota?
You asked this.
Based off what was going on?
You asked if.
Would not have had Towns. Would not have gotten Towns.
See what I'm saying? So you see what he's doing? So the fanboys, not you, sorry, I'm not calling you a fanboy, but I'm saying because that's disrespectful. But the fanboy group that he's talking about, he's saying that they will praise LeBron making it to the finals once, then getting smoked by Orlando, who's one of the worst teams, and everyone knows that team was garbage, and that's why they were making it look like Dwight Howard was the next Shaquille O'Neal, dragging that horrible team. That was the narrative before he went to LA. You drag that horrible team to the finals, just like LeBron dragged that horrible team to the Cleveland. And but so what I'm saying is that LeBron didn't win anything, and the way that you speak, you almost make it sound like LeBron won
So let me
something.
get this straight. So LeBron drags horrible teams to the finals.
Horrible team to the final. So it happened once.
Well, it happened last year too, by the way. They were horrible last year too. And again, you guys had them out with the Boston. Don't make it seem like you had faith that they were going to make it to the finals. Anyways, he's
That
dragged
Cleveland? I never said that Cleveland was going to make the finals.
Exactly.
Okay.
So again, and based off their talent level, as you see this year, they didn't have a talent level to be anywhere near the finals.
We've already discussed that.
Kevin Love a great
We've already
player.
discussed that.
Kevin Love is a guy in
not
Minnesota
playing.
when he was the alpha dog. They still stunk. It would be the same.
stunk?
Igor,
They-
this is
the
hold on.
Minnesota team with
You
Kevin Love.
traded
How
a
many
number
times- how many
one-
times
you
did
traded
Kevin
a
Love
number
Minnesota
one pick for him.
make the playoffs in the Western Conference with Kevin Love?
He did it with the Western
Western
Yeah.
Conference was the most dangerous team. They were the most dangerous conference then. He couldn't make it out. I don't understand what you're talking about.
That was when every team
So
had
he couldn't.
stars.
So he couldn't make it out. And then again, you go into this situation where again he's been injured or whatever, and they still stink without.
Do you know how many years? How long is your rookie contract? Do you know?
3 years.
And then normally they signed another 3 years like what LeBron, Wade, and Bosh did, and then they went to Miami, right? So they signed their rookie year deal, they signed their first real deals, and then when that was over, they all went to Miami. True or false?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Bosh,
So in that 6 years, 7 years, I believe that they were in their.
No, I think Bill Bosh signed an extension with Toronto for a couple of years.
Yeah, but they all no, but they.
Well, he wasn't here for 3 years.
No, it was
He
more.
past the-
Bosh was here for
No,
5 or
their
6
years.
rookie.
6 years.
No, I'm saying their rookie deals,
It's 3
and then
the
they
next
all
one's
3 of them
3
signed
3 or
extensions
4,
to their
yeah.
teams, and then they all went to Miami together.
Sure.
So in that time that they were doing that, that's how long that Kevin Love was in Minnesota, and all of them did nothing except for Wade, who won the finals. But you're making it look like he's
And
been.
LeBron went to the finals.
He went to the finals once and lost. So what you're praising is the fact that he got to go there. He's a loser, just like Kevin Love
So
was a
basically,
loser.
so then LeBron, who had to basically drag the Cleveland team,
And then you said Kyrie
played
Irving, he didn't
Boston
even
a
get a
couple
chance.
times in the playoffs, who had a stacked team, by the way.
Who had a stacked team?
Boston had a stacked team
The
with Ray
championship
Allen,
team.
all your
They
young
won
boys.
one championship.
Again, a stacked team. They had four.
They
had
won
four
one
level-
championship.
Four All Stars in that team.
They
against
won one
LeBron, right?
championship. They won one championship.
Okay.
So how was that a stacked team? They had the same team and lost
There
the
was
very
teams-
next
there
year.
was teams in the, so again, just a one championship. The Detroit Pistons.
You
with
can't
that-
call a team stacked like that. Golden State is
Would you
stacked.
call
They
Boston
continue
right
to
now
win.
stacked?
Sure. They got four.
And they've never made the finals.
They got 4 All Stars.
And they've never made the finals.
Why didn't they make the finals?
They lost. Because Brown smoked it. He shot 1 for 10 from 3. And Jaylen Brown
gives
won.
them no credit.
Who?
Okay, so let me get let's say let's do a hypothetical. Let's say you're in the playoffs. Let's say your guys are who was out. I guess Kyrie was out and who was the other one? Was out? So not
No,
Love was
Kyrie and Hayward was out.
out. And Hayward was out.
Oh.
If let's say in game 1 and like LeBron tears the leg or something, do you think that the Cleveland team would have even made that into a series without him in there?
No.
Well, there you have it.
I don't understand
There
the
you have it.
comparison.
The comparison is simple. Any team that is again the guys can go off about first and foremost. And I go back to that toxic environment question. He's in a toxic environment. You got guys that are calling him a bitch on the bench. I don't know what Draymond just called him a bitch a couple of weeks ago. To Durant. So him talking about toxic environments don't make any sense to me because that's I've never seen LeBron do that in public to anybody.
But
What
Draymond's
does
been
that
like
have
that.
to do-
But here's the thing: it's a toxic environment. You can't say that looks like a more
Those are
toxic
players.
environment. But again, it looks like a
They're not
toxic
complaining
environment.
about that. These guys aren't. Durant isn't complaining about LeBron.
He's complaining
These
about toxic
players are not
environment.
complaining. They're talking about the guys who will say that the team sucks, call them garbage, and then LeBron gets all the praise. Do you know
But the proof is in the pudding.
I
Every time
know
he leaves,
that's
they
what
stink.
that's what they call thing. J.R. Smith already came out. That's why they sent him home. You know
Yeah.
he's home getting paid right
Well,
now?
and
Why is
why
J.R.
are they-
Smith
and why are
getting
they
paid?
tanking?
Because he admitted that they're tanking.
And why are they tanking?
But then you
Because
want to
they
ignore
stink.
them. But you ignore the
Because they
tanking.
stink.
But what about? I want
They
to. I
stink.
want to say a few things. You want to throw in a last word because I want to say
Okay,
some stuff.
all right, I do have a last word. Does anybody think in the story, the tortoise or the hare, that the tortoise was faster than the hare? No, because they know that he was sleeping, they know that he was joking around, and he lost. The way that they have it told is it doesn't matter that J.R. Smith said that they're tanking, they still suck, and because LeBron left, that's
They
why
had
they
no
suck.
choice.
They're not listening to they're missing the part of what's happening.
Once
They
love
didn't
got
win.
there.
How many championships? So Bosh and Wade stayed in Miami after LeBron went back to Cleveland. How many championships
They didn't even play a full season. Kevin Bosh almost didn't even finish. You see what I'm saying? And he knows this, but he's so obsessed with LeBron, he pretends he doesn't know this information.
But again,
you know Bosh didn't get to play. That's why you're grinning right now, because you know. That's why you're grinning right now, because you're not lying.
Made 12
And now
NBA championship without LeBron.
See, now he's asking. He asked the question like it was a fact.
Hold on.
He's asking.
I have a question
You
to
see,
counter.
you turned it from fact to hypothetical.
Okay, so hold on. Your question was, would Miami have made it to the championship
Without
LeBron? The answer is possibly. Now I have a question for you, and you're going to be on my side on this.
Of course.
What was the reason that Miami lost their first championship to Dallas?
Right.
LeBron James.
LeBron James had a bad.
He had a bad series, right?
Yeah, bad series.
Now I want to move on to something. So we have one thing to chalk up.
That's a good
that
ending.
LeBron was a
I'm proud of
choker.
you.
That LeBron was a
I'm
choker.
proud of you.
Yeah, and he admitted that.
And he was
He
Mr.
admitted that.
when they called him
Proud of
Mr.
you.
Fourth Quarter
He
because he
admitted
couldn't
that.
hit a shot.
Yeah.
And he pulled a Kyle Lowry. He
Remember,
wasn't even shooting the ball.
It isn't like that doesn't happen on the regular. You look at that Pistons team against the Lakers, who the Lakers were heavily favored with Kobe and Shaq, and the Pistons.
Karl
beat them.
Malone was that the Karl Malone?
They were heavily stacked, and the Pistons still beat them. It does happen from time to time. That it wasn't like Dallas was a bunch of scrubs. They had a good
Pistons still
team.
beat who?
Nowitzki.
The Pistons beat the Lakers, but Shaq wasn't there. That was
And they didn't have
that was
all-star
Payton
level
and
talents
Malone.
anymore.
Payton and Malone.
The Pistons, they only had
The
Chauncey
Lakers?
Billups, Ben Wallace,
Detroit
yeah.
Rasheed
You thought that
Wallace.
team was good?
Defensively, they were amazing.
The Lakers were
Well,
good?
they had all the stars.
The Lakers were a great team.
The Lakers
When
were
they
a
had
great
Gary
team.
Payton and Karl Malone
They
in
went to the
there,
Shaq and Kobe went to the championship.
they didn't win.
No, they
Of course,
lost to
that's
Detroit in the
Detroit.
final.
And Detroit never had
Because
the
all they had
Lakers
Lakers,
were
they
a
had
good
Kobe,
team.
they had Kobe and Shaq. They had a whole bunch of old bums trying to get
Was
away.
Shaq
and they
still
all
there at
lost.
that point?
Shaq, I think,
Was
was
Shaq
still
still there?
Yeah.
Shaq was still there.
And they had a whole bunch of old
Bums,
guys
Gary
running it.
Payton and Carmelo.
Gary
Carmelo.
Payton retired the year after, and so no, Gary Payton ran to Miami and got a ring and
Yeah.
retired, and
Karl
Karl Malone
Malone
retired right after that.
But
There's a
Karl
whole
Malone
bunch
was
of
still
guys right
productive.
over there.
Again,
A little bit productive.
but which one of those Pistons would you have taken over?
I'm
Kobe
gonna
and
prove a
Shaq?
point. I'm gonna prove a point. Do you think Boozer was a good player? You're gonna say no.
Carlos
Everybody
Boozer?
wanted Boozer
No,
before he went to
Boozer,
Cleveland.
Boozer was a serviceable
Okay,
player.
he's better than anyone Cleveland, Toronto had.
Wow,
When
at
Bosh was
that
there,
point?
Boozer was better than any player, side player that Bosh had to play with.
Boozer was really good in this.
Very good. And he went over there and he said that they have bums.
Well, I mean,
Mo Williams was a
Bosh
freaking point guard.
had
He's
Jalen
talking
Rose.
nonsense.
Bosh had Jalen Rose for a bit.
Okay.
Again, those Toronto teams weren't that great.
Boozer and Mo
Which
Williams
I
were
wanted
very
to
good
get to
basketball
because
players.
the thing.
Boozer and Mo Williams.
You see, he's laughing.
Boozer and
As though they
Mo
were
Williams.
Hold up, I think he
Mo
trashed-
Williams
was
he
an all-star.
trashed Jameer Nelson.
Mo Williams was
Mo
an
Williams and
all-star.
Jameer Nelson weren't
Mo-
that off the cuff.
Mo
Do
Williams
you
was an
think
all-star.
Jameer Nelson was a
Jameer
good basketball
Nelson,
player?
again, you're comparing him to Mo Williams. It wasn't like one was that much better than the other. Mo Williams was a serviceable player. He wasn't an
Yeah,
He was an
all-star.
all-star. He was an
Well,
all-star.
again,
You're calling
maybe
you're
once.
making it look like he
Jameer
played with.
Jameer Nelson, I think, made an all-star
The point
team.
was that
Like,
he had more talent on his team than
remember,
Bosh did.
Dwight Howard
They're
at
saying
that
Bosh
point,
went nowhere.
Dwight Howard's trash these days, but at that point, Dwight Howard was a good player.
They had who?
Dwight Howard at that point was a good player.
Of course he was.
So,
But he wasn't a scorer. He was a good big
But
man.
he
He wasn't
was-
like a Shaquille O'Neal like they thought.
Again,
He
he was a
couldn't even
Shaq,
average
but
20
he was a
points.
very good player.
So you think you can win the NBA Finals when your leading scorer is 18 points and can't do anything
Yeah.
for you and can't get free throws? You think you're gonna win a championship and your
There are
second
always,
best
there are
scorer
always
is
going to be teams that
Turkoglu?
have that one off. But like I said, it's Turkoglu. So who did look at LeBron had freaking Zydrunas Ilgauskas as his best freaking player? And
That
he
wasn't his
was-
best
he was
player.
an
See, more
all-star as
lies.
well.
He was an
Boozer
all-star.
was there.
No, Ilgauskas was an all-star that year. Why? Because he was playing with LeBron. That
No,
guy can
no,
barely
that's not
move.
it.
No.
That guy can barely move.
No, I know, but you can't say that a
At the
center
end,
was an all-star
at the
because
end,
of
never mind.
LeBron.
At the end, no, at the end, he
No,
could barely
like
move.
Big C was like
Big C.
the worst.
You want to make a bet? What year do you think he retired? And what year he made the finals?
I don't
You want
know,
to you want to see
So
the difference
you
between
tell me that
6 years
Zydrunas
earlier?
Ilgauskas as a second option when it was like a star.
Do you think 6
Oh
years
my
ago?
God, I
Okay,
can't with this.
I have another question for you. LeBron is LeBron athletic right now? To you?
Of course he's athletic.
Do you think it's day and night difference LeBron 6 years ago compared to LeBron now?
Well, I mean,
Do you think? No, I don't. Anytime you do that, well, you're about to talk gibberish. I want the truth. 6 years ago, was LeBron a clearly more athletic, dominant force physically than he is right now?
Sure,
Yeah,
I mean,
perfect. So, okay, perfect. So,
he's 33 now,
okay,
of course.
okay, perfect.
But he's still a great player.
Still a great player.
Perfect. So he's saying, of course, Ilgauskas when they made the finals, he's talking about the 6-7 years later when he was retiring in Cleveland.
Ilgauskas back then wasn't that great.
Of course, he was a good
He was
player.
a big guy that could
Big
score.
Country a good player on
Oh
Vancouver.
God, Big Country. I don't think Big Country's a good player.
See, there we go. So of course you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
A few years.
You wouldn't know.
Years.
I have
Ladies and
He was
gentlemen,
such a
guys.
good player. Why was he out of the league so
Ladies and
quickly?
gentlemen, because he hurt his back. He had
Yeah,
back
back
injury. He didn't leave
problem.
because he couldn't play. He was
I never thought Big Country
see,
was
this
that
is
great.
what I'm saying.
Him and
The witnesses
I
who
thought
don't
Sharif
have
was better.
information.
I thought Sharif
I
was
just
better.
checked his numbers because I think he's the G League president or something.
Yeah,
I checked his
I know.
career averages. It was
He's
18 or
good.
19 points
Yeah,
a
he's
game. That's
good.
what
He got hurt too.
Yeah, he was good
He was
at
in
that.
Atlanta doing
I want to end at least this part with something because what I've gathered at least, and this being all serious, and not even a shot or anything. What I've gathered from your discussion about LeBron is that LeBron has taken players from teams that have not won in the playoffs, and correct me if I'm wrong, and he's taken those players that have not been successful, brought them to his team, and as a core,
And they're successful.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I have a question for both you guys, which I'm going to get a good answer out of. Victor Oladipo, who we both think is probably a top 10 two-way player, right? Victor Oladipo,
Sorry,
yes or no?
Sorry, can I just interrupt for a second?
Okay.
If he says something, I'm rebuttaling. Don't stop me. If he says something, I'm rebuttaling. So stop him now before it's too late.
He's a big fan of Russ, right? And the way that Russell plays. And again, Durant didn't like playing with Russ.
How did we get to Russ though? That's the
No.
question.
Because they changed the narrative. Witnesses changed the narrative.
I'm using it as an example because Durant played with Russ. And again, who was the alpha dog on that team for a lot of the time, always with the ball in his hands?
Right.
It was Russ. And why did Durant leave? Because he hated playing with Russ. So do you see how a certain thing?
But that's
with
with LeBron. That's like LeBron. Nobody wants to play with LeBron. The ball's in LeBron's hands,
But
which
again-
was Durant speaking for everybody, which is great because that's what he said.
Or
So-
does Durant want to be the alpha dog on the team without question?
Joe,
That's what I'm talking about.
Joe, I'd like a chance to.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
can't
No,
let him
go
just throw that.
Go quickly and then I have to ask my
Okay, fine,
question.
but I can't let him throw it. You should have stopped him. I still jump into rebuttal.
Go ahead.
Again, it's more lies and that's more media fanboy type of stuff. That is not at all what happened. What happened is that he thinks he's better than LeBron or as good, whatever he thinks, right? As a
KD.
competitor,
KD?
KD as a competitor, right? He thinks he's better. It doesn't
As
matter
a
what
competitor.
Whatever, as a player, whatever.
I don't think as a competitor. I'm saying he thinks he's
He
better.
thinks so.
It
In
doesn't
his
matter
mind.
what you
Sure,
guys
in
think.
his mind,
Okay.
right? Okay.
So it doesn't matter what they think.
Yeah.
They're not saying.
And he should think
John,
that.
he's
And
not
he
even
should
close,
think
of
that.
course.
Yeah.
But he is. He's a better shooter. Can hit left, right. All the skill wise, it's a joke. So I don't even know what they're talking about. All LeBron can do is pass better, but whatever. He can play better defense, score. But I'm sorry, my fault.
Off topic.
Off topic. So what I'm saying is that Durant, what he's doing is watching LeBron get all this accolades. He's getting championships. He's getting Finals MVP. All this stuff. Yes, maybe if he stuck with Durant, I'm sure I know that in my mind they could have won. I let him go unfiltered, right? That's what witnesses do. They don't like truth information coming out.
You said Durant. I was correct.
Oh, sorry.
KD and Westbrook. It's
Okay, sorry. So KD Westbrook. So what I'm saying is that KD and Westbrook, I feel that they could have got themselves a ring. They should have. They blew that lead, and I think they could have got something. But that's not what Durant wants. Durant wants continuous winning, and because he didn't think he could do that with Westbrook, and he wasn't even sure if he could win a first one with Westbrook. Because he didn't think the way that Westbrook played and that team, the way they were organized, he didn't think they could win. So he left. And he went to a team, and a completely stacked team. He didn't go somewhere where he can be an alpha dog in New York and bring one to the Mecca. He didn't do all that. He went to a stacked team so he can immediately win. So all that alpha garbage is people are not using common sense. If you want to be alpha, you go to a real team and show it. He didn't do that. He went to a stacked team to win immediately and start running his mouth. He talks so much now, the way he runs his mouth, like he's not even a champion in my eyes. He's a joke to me, as much as LeBron is a joke.
So hold on. So now you're calling Durant a joke. So then why?
He's a joke just like LeBron.
So why take his comments as a jest if you think he's a joke then?
No, I call a spade a spade.
Okay, so
He's saying that LeBron.
how can you take?
I'm gonna tell you the issue. I'm gonna tell you the issue is because his problem is that he's doing the
That
exact.
KC team got beat by Miami, by the way.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, he did. Yeah, and it was a completely unfair.
Badly.
It was unfair. They cheated. I can show you
They
calls. They
cheated.
did. That's fine. That's fine. No, it's true. It's true. They had to because they
We have to get back to my
Okay,
question.
fine. But what I'm saying is that
I asked this question 10 minutes ago.
no, I'm sorry. He interrupted
I
first.
know.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that
I
with
did.
LeBron, with Durant now, Durant went to Durant did almost the same thing LeBron did in his eyes, and he
said, "I
got
can do this
persecuted.
too."
Yeah, he got persecuted, and LeBron continues to get praise. Even now, he's trying to stack the deck, and he's getting praise. So these comments he is getting mad. Like,
Why can't I do
do
this
that?
if you do his whole career?
And now he's
can-
making it sound
how
like
can you
he's making
say
it sound
that,
like I can't take it. I'm calling a spade a spade. I said Durant's
Yeah.
garbage. I think you're not a
You
champion.
can't say the situations are the same.
We can't go back and forth all day.
LeBron never went to a championship team. He went to teams that were.
I didn't
But
say-
he
I didn't
made
say it
them.
was
He
the
made
same.
them
He
championship
made
teams.
them championship teams.
He did not go to any team by himself. He went to Miami, and you know who he brought there? He brought Battier, who was a starter in Houston. He brought Mike Miller, who was a starter in Memphis. Those are two starters. He brought Ray Allen from your stock team that you're talking about. Went there over there to go and win them a ring. He brought other players. You guys keep pretending like he went to a
Because
team
they want to
and
play
won.
with LeBron.
See, now we changed the
Because
narrative.
they want to
So
play with LeBron.
we went from.
He just
see what I'm
killed it,
saying?
right?
So we went
He
from.
just proved they want to play
so
with
we-
LeBron. I think I got him. I think I won.
Hold
I think I
on.
won.
We went. Witnesses.
So if nobody wants to be with LeBron, why do they
No
go?
matter how much you talk, I'm going to get the truth out. There's nothing you can do to stop it. The point is, your point that you made was that
That's
LeBron,
one point.
no matter what you do, LeBron goes to a team and they start winning. I prove to you that he brings a bunch of players over there, and instead of acknowledging that fact, you want to say everyone wants to play with
Hold on, but
LeBron.
you-
So which
you-
argument are
you
we
just
talking
told
about
me-
here?
You just told me that Ray Allen decided to go to.
I don't care about any of that. He did not go to a team by himself. That's what we're talking about. I'm not letting you change the
So
narrative.
how can you tell me that players don't like playing with
I'm
LeBron?
not,
while
that
they
is not the,
constantly can't play with
that is
LeBron?
not the
That
narrative.
doesn't make no sense.
You don't even answer it. That's not the narrative.
No
You're
sense.
the people's watching it on camera, and I'm gonna show it
I-
to everybody I know.
you
You
said that
are
people
gonna answer my
don't
question.
want.
That is not the narrative. I can talk about that another time, or even afterwards. Right now, you said LeBron goes to a team and they start winning. I'm telling you, and I can give you
The same
every
thing.
fact that he brings other players with him. So why are you telling me that LeBron joins a team and they start winning?
But here's the thing. Your point.
Throw
was-
in your last
main-
point, 'cause I have-
your main-
You're not answering my question.
Yeah, your main point was that LeBron, the environment's toxic.
And now
People,
we're
people,
changing the narrative.
people don't like play.
We're
People
changing
don't
the
like
narrative.
playing with LeBron. Isn't that what his main point was?
No,
at
that's
the
not
beginning?
the narrative. The question to you, you're saying is that LeBron goes to a team and they instantly start winning. I'm telling you that he does not go to a team alone. He brings other players with him, and you are not acknowledging
How do
that
you,
fact.
and how do you bring other players with you?
Okay, because he's
Because they
everyone
wanna
loves
play
him.
with
But
you,
what is-
right?
okay, so what does that have to do with what I'm
We're
asking
just going
you?
back and forth. I'm gonna have to
You're not
interject.
answering my question. This
I'm
clip is genius.
gonna close the case
This will
on
end
this one.
everybody. Everybody is
So
gonna comment on this.
LeBron's played for. He's changed teams 3 times. So it was Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland, Lakers. Okay, so
Better every year.
we're not going to look at the first Cleveland because he was young. They went to the finals. They lost. Whatever. I want to talk just to close the case on what happens when he changes teams. Okay, these are all facts. Goes to Miami. Does bring Chris Bosh. Goes to a team that has a
Dwayne Wade.
top 5 player in the
Yes.
world. Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
Other players go. What happened when he went to Miami in his first season?
They lost to the Dallas and
No. Just go through a quick recap in like a few seconds of what happened during the season.
Again, at the end of the day, he becomes the alpha dog and make it to the finals.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
saying
they
before I tell you what happens.
They struggled. Everyone thought they were going to go almost undefeated. They struggled. They said, "Oh, they
Sure,
need time to get
chemistry,
together."
sure,
Then
yeah.
once they got that chemistry, they went to the finals and choked completely to a bunch of old guys who are 7 of them retired the very year
Old
after winning that
guys?
championship. Yeah,
Jason.
7 guys.
So
7 guys from that
Terry
team.
Kidd.
Kid retired.
Nowitzki was still playing well, but
I didn't say he was one of them.
guys.
I never said it. He's old too.
And he was the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay.
Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back to my
Dirk
point.
Nowitzki,
What
you're
actually
comparing-
happened.
Tyson Chandler was
So old Dirk Nowitzki, you're comparing to
You said
LeBron
Carlos
James.
Boozer was Tyson Chandler back then was a really good
He was
player.
defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you what happens.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you what happens though when
Oh my
when
God.
LeBron goes to a team.
Oh my
Because he
God.
kind of touched on it.
This is-
LeBron goes to a team and people think they're going to go undefeated or whatever,
Sure,
especially
sure.
in Miami. Okay?
Okay.
I think that they were like 14 and 15, and they talked about. Riley said, "I'm going to fire Spoelstra, come in." He ended up being one of the best coaches in the league still is.
Riley never said that.
Uh,
They wanted him fired, and Riley said, "That's my coach. He's not."
Oh,
going
sorry.
anywhere."
There was
Yeah.
speculation that they said Riley won. Anyways, they started off trash. What ended up happening? The same thing that happens every other time. At the trade deadline, they say LeBron goes to the GM and says, "Bring me in this guy, bring me in this guy, bring me in that guy," and they brought in players. Then the same thing happened when he went to Cleveland. We saw it last year when we did the show right after the trade deadline. Remember they beat Boston by like 40 points in Boston once they got all the guys from Cleveland, Larry Nance and those guys.
You were there,
The
bragging?
same thing happens all the time. He gets his coach fired, that's a guarantee as well. So Luke Walton's days are numbered.
Toxic.
Gets his coach fired, gets his players to play without the ball. Yeah, sure, they end up winning games at the end of the year, but nobody's happy and he pisses everybody off.
Toxic.
And then, goes to the finals and either wins or loses. In more cases than not, he ends up losing to whatever reason.
Losing
bad
badly
teams
more,
or whatever
more
happens.
times than not.
Again, and
2 sweeps and 2
and
4-1s.
losing to teams that were much more stacked than the Jordan teams. But anyways, let's continue on that before we get on
Yep.
that. Like,
Now, what I want to get to the question
I don't
that
know.
we can end this with. that I tried to 15 minutes ago was Victor Oladipo, because he was the first guy I looked at with all of the teams and said, who's a guy that's a top 15 player that's still under 30, that your case for everybody that played with LeBron was Kevin Love couldn't win, Chris Bosh couldn't win, everybody else, Boozer, whoever couldn't win. Now, look at Victor Oladipo in the East. I don't think he's won a playoff series yet. He had one at least with Indiana, and then who was he with before Orlando? He was a trash player. Would you, if the Lakers were to get Victor Oladipo, now some people that are casual fans might not think he's a great player. Anybody that knows the game knows he's a great two-way player. Would you not say that like the Lakers have a legit shot to win the championship if they were to get someone like Oladipo and Sabonis? But let's just say that they get, because that's a LeBron type thing. Bringing me two guys, and Sabonis is a low key, really solid. Answer the question though: if they get those two guys, because that fits your narrative.
Which two?
Oladipo and Sabonis.
See again, Sabonis this year is having his coming out party. Would it put him over the top based on what's going on in the West?
They're a top 3 lock if they get those guys, are they not?
Top 3 lock, perhaps, but again, they wouldn't have the individual talent that the Warriors would have. I would still put the Warriors.
But there's a series.
There's a series, sure.
And they can win, right?
It's a possibility, I guess.
Your thoughts? I'm just saying, because what you said is every player that's not, you say that everybody's not good because they can't win a series. What I'm saying is, if Oladipo and his team's good, they can just beat Philly. Hold on. They're going to play either Philly, Milwaukee, Toronto, or Boston. Are they going to beat any of those teams? Probably not. That doesn't take away the fact that Oladipo, like Bosh, and like whoever else you mentioned that went
Kevin Love,
that doesn't mean that they're not great players because their teams aren't as good, or there's great players in front of them.
But my point wasn't that they're not. My point is that again, when you mentioned that, he mentioned that he got something right. LeBron's been able to do it again when he was younger. He's able to do it sometimes on his own. He doesn't need a lot of those guys.
But he's not winning a championship with those guys.
Sure.
Yeah, he can bring them to the playoffs.
He can only do so much. And you saw
just like all those other guys you mentioned.
Without Kyrie and Love when they got injured in that playoff run, he took that Warriors team to 6 games with freaking Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith as his second and third options. And then that was when the Warriors had Curry, Thompson, and Draymond Green.
But those were good young rotation players, but good guys.
Remember,
that just like the Boston team last year, right? Terry Rozier, all these guys.
JR is out of the league now.
But he's 33.
He's not out of the league. He's at home because he told the truth. See, more lies. I won't let you speak lies.
And
do you even know where Iman Shumpert is?
Sacramento.
Okay, is he relevant?
Pretty decent.
He's on the team.
He's more relevant because of his wife, was a musician than he is. Let's be real here. And
again, is this TMZ or is this
true? You want all your players to be in an All-Star game? So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about because
was Bill Wellington somebody outside of Chicago?
You don't give enough credit to the situation.
Was Luke Longley someone out of
Chicago?
Was Bill Wellington someone out of basketball?
If you look at the 5 losses, the only bad loss. The only bad loss.
They lost 4-1 isn't a bad loss. 4-1 isn't a bad loss. 4-0 isn't a bad loss. 4-0 isn't a bad loss.
The other team's got 4 All-Stars against.
I want to hear that All-Star stuff. No one thinks Dallas is an All-Star team. San Antonio's no All-Star team.
Dallas was player of the year,
but they weren't even first.
Here we go. Now you're naming little accolades to try to save yourself. Your guy got smoked. Dallas was not supposed to make it to the finals. And every single year after their little dynasty win, everybody counted out Spurs as first. And then you cut out.
There we go. Finals or getting smoked in the first round? What's better?
You want to make it to the finals.
Okay.
Who got smoked in the first round?
So when Michael was getting smoked early in the first round,
he was 20 years old.
It's a podcast.
Go look at it. It's at least 3 years where he got smoked by Detroit, who had Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas. They were stacked. The Pistons at that point were Pistons and he got smoked.
That wasn't first round.
Detroit.
Go look it up.
I was a great team, right?
And all Michael had was Michael. And a lot of the stuff that LeBron had to deal with, and a bunch of bums.
And he got smoked in his North Carolina shirt because he was 19 years old.
No, check it out.
Joe, you check it out while you talk.
Joe,
check it out what year it was.
Joe, he wasn't 19 years old. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Again, everybody, I never said he was, but you just said, okay, I'll bring up knowledge again. First of all, they lost to Boston, who won the championship 3 years in a row. They lost to Detroit, who won the championship 2 years in a row. They weren't stacked teams. They were good basketball teams, and Toronto beat those teams. Chicago beat the Detroit team. They beat them twice in a row, and then they came back and beat them.
Let me get the situation is
what it was.
This is what happened. Michael's ascension with Scotty and the rest of
the
guys.
You're saying a podcast. What he's about to say, I'll send you the podcast of what he's repeating.
The situation
I know exactly where he got this.
When the Pistons and those Boston teams steadily declined because of age, those Celtics teams were Robert Parrish, Larry Bird, Larry used to own Michael's teams back in the day. Larry, Robert
He's a
Parrish,
more established
Kevin
player,
McHale,
yeah.
they had stacked
They
teams.
won the championship.
Exactly, that's
That's not a stacked team. Isaiah Thomas beat them.
Isaiah Thomas had Bill Laimbeer, the bad boy Pistons used to
Drew
rough
Mars.
Bill
Michael
Laimbeer,
up.
what's
Drew Mars.
the most points Bill Laimbeer averaged
Bill
in a
Laimbeer was a
season?
bad player?
No,
He's like, oh, no,
I said he's a very good
okay.
player. What's the most points he's ever averaged in a
Okay.
season? You don't know.
At
What's the
their
most
height,
rebounds he averaged in a season?
Michael beat
You
those
don't
guys.
know.
He did
Yes,
not.
he did beat
Here's
them.
a-
Again, a lie.
The
More
playoffs,
lies.
when those
He
guys were
beat-
old,
He weren't old. He beat
beat
Detroit
the
on
Lakers.
their third. They won 2 championships, and on their third try, he beat them. They
he
weren't
beat the
old.
Lakers when Magic
He
Johnson
skipped
was
Detroit.
already sick.
He skipped Detroit.
And again, Kareem wasn't even there. Michael, again, I love Michael. Don't get me wrong, I love Michael. But the reality is, all
That's not
those
reality.
championships, he had the best team
You're
every
watching
single
highlights.
year.
But so does
Yeah,
Golden
highlights.
State.
And
But
there
Golden
you go.
State, does
And
that
you
mean that
don't
Golden
rebuttal
State,
that garbage.
before they got Durant, right? Does that mean that Steph Curry's
There you
not
go.
great because
And
they
that's
drafted
why
a
that
good team?
LeBron victory, when he beat him, when they won that one,
Because he prayed to stay in that game, and
At the end of the
Draymond
day,
kicked
they
whoever.
won, and here you go Draymond and so forth.
But
That
that-
was
yeah,
one.
yeah.
That was a situation where he's been only favored in I think 2 finals out of 8.
But you have to be favored to win every championship too.
But again, Michael was favored on every championship.
Wrong.
What team?
But you
What?
still have to win.
Who said wrong?
I'm not even gonna argue.
Six
with you.
when he was 6-0.
I ain't arguing.
Which team? Was
You're bringing up,
Michael?
you're bringing up random facts and then hogging the mic,
but
and
then
then
we
you don't
like
get to
Clifford
rebuttal.
Robinson and Clyde
Okay, but
Drexler and all these guys.
Okay, Igor, let me ask you a question.
Seems
If
like
you want-
Hakeem, he took
Yeah,
off
hold on,
again.
hold on. You're gonna like this.
All right,
Because
all
it's
right,
more-
all right.
it's more true.
Because anytime he
Hold
says
on.
something, he talks over me, so I know he knows he's not saying truth.
You're a Patriots fan.
I'm a
Everybody,
Patriots fan.
Igor's a Patriots fan,
Yep.
right? So he wants to talk about being favored in every Super Bowl. Patriots have probably been favored in every Super Bowl.
No.
Which ones have they not?
We had the one that
Giants, they were
the
both
one that-
favorites,
the one
they
that
lost.
we were 16-0 and lost. That was a heartbreaker. We the one in the first one where we beat the Rams were 13-point favorites. We
That
beat
of
them.
course, yeah.
That's
okay.
the first one. Yeah, that was the first
So
one.
they were big favorites against the Giants both times. So based on your theory, they should have won. If you're a favorite in championship,
again, that's
you
a
won.
one-off.
No, there's not. It
That's
was a
a
2-off.
one-off.
It was a 2-off.
Again,
It was a
It's
2-off.
one off for the year with different teams every single time. It's not a 7-game
Oh,
series.
I'm just when you
You
make
lose
a
one
point,
game.
I gotta throw something back at you, right? So you can't just be like
Bulls didn't sweep everybody.
No,
Come
but
on.
the favorites don't win every game either in
Sure.
any sport, right?
Sure.
And like you said, whatever happens, we've gone off on LeBron. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back and then go through the West very quickly
I gotta
because
look at that.
thank you on the block.
Man, I forgot football's on Saturday.
It's Houston against.
But I like Hopkins. I love him.
Oh, I like Hopkins.
He's hurt.